This is Frosty Adventures. We are going to talk today about mistakes we have made on our little farm. So, we told you in our last video we had some cows, we have goats, we have chickens, we have some donkeys, and a Great Pyrenees. That's pretty much all the livestock we have. Can you think of anything else? Oh, we
Well,
do have a 12-year-old granddaughter.
but we also grow rocks.
Yeah, we do
We
grow a
grow
lot of
rocks.
rocks.
Yeah.
So when we both moved out here and started living here full time, uh, our goal was to have an art farm because Connie does pottery and I do woodworking. And then somebody said we ought to have some goats. They're really cute. So Connie had a friend that had goats and she wanted to get rid of some of them, so we bought them. Connie went to Rome in an S10 a Ford Ranger pickup truck in a pallet. And
No, actually, I think there were 3 pallets.
excuse me, there were 3 pallets, and she made a pallet cage.
Yeah.
I so wish I had a picture of this.
I don't. I can't believe it. I did. Actually, I think we did it with a.
That was
We're-
another camera
we're-
that just hit the dust.
We're
It's okay.
such professionals here. Well, and then we added another pallet to the back to keep them enclosed. And it was cold. It was March, I think.
It was early March. And how many did you pick up? 3
I think
or
it
4?
was 3.
I think she picked up 3. And at that time, we had no fencing.
Right.
Every video, everything I read said, get all of your infrastructure in place, your fencing, your water, the way you're going to feed them, the housing, stalls, stables, all that. Make sure you have all that in place before you buy your first animal.
We didn't read any of those.
I read them.
articles.
We
No.
just didn't do them.
We just get in a hurry. I get in a hurry to go ahead and establish things and let's just do it and jump into it. Mike is a little more methodical, which can be a little frustrating for me because I'm like, how long are we going to think about it? But you know what? That's a gift that I seem to have overlooked.
So I could be a little more, how should I say
A
it?
man of action.
A little more action. I was going to say it differently than that. I could do things a little quicker, but I do think things out usually, but the goats, we did not. We ended up getting the goats. We did have a barn at that time, and we put them in the stalls.
Well, one was a male as well, and they are 4 goats, so they're very large.
Yes.
These weren't full grown yet.
So we would take them out to get grass every once in a while and feed them hay and stuff like that in the barn. And then we bought some electric netting fencing, which worked really great. And it had a solar charger, and we set it up out in the pasture, and it worked fantastic. We didn't have any water there. And goats tend to need water like most people and livestock. So we bought a water trough and carried water
We
there
hauled water.
each
That's right.
day.
Yeah, that was fun.
And we carried the food out there each day, which was not a problem. And the goats cleared up that area really great. And then we had to move them again. And we only had enough fencing to keep them enclosed. So we would set up the fence and then get the enclosure ready. And then we would chase the goats into it. And that's how we survived. And that's exactly what we did, was survive. Then I think about after 3 or 4 months, we finally got fencing put up in the first pasture.
Right. We shared that area with the chickens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had chickens, and we did have a little brooder type coop that could keep them in there. And then we made a chicken house eventually, and we had chickens, and we had a daughter that wanted to come out and bring her dogs, and we had a goat fence right next to where the chicken fence was.
Right.
So we took the goats out of that fence. We put the dogs in there.
Right.
And they were sitting right next to the chickens. And
We didn't know.
I went to Walmart and all of a sudden get a phone call that says, "Oh my God, they're all dead. Every one of them's dead." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Who's she talking about? What's
They're
dead?
all dead.
Who? They were all
Yeah.
dead. Our family members were all out there
We had
too.
one that I had named Pearl.
All the
Pearl.
chickens were killed.
She wasn't dead. Pearl was fine, but she was traumatized.
Yeah, couldn't cluck or
She couldn't
nothing.
make noise. Not at all. Took months for her to talk again.
So you don't put your dogs by chickens because the dogs want to play with the chickens and they just actually kill them for sport.
Yeah.
And when I got home, they were all over the place. So
It was a killing field, really.
we took them and buried them one part of our what we didn't know at that time would be the pet family cemetery.
Yeah. Chicken bones everywhere. Chicken
So
bones. Yeah.
we ended up getting more goats and expanding our
wait.
fence and
We're not supposed to say that word, are we?
what?
There's a word you're not supposed to say about the chickens, that they were unalived. I think that's what you're supposed to say now.
Oh,
So I'll have to
sorry.
bleep it or something. I got to fix that.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
They can bleed it out if they don't understand that they. Anyway, we got more goats, and there was a learning experience with goats. Um, we had a few goats that passed unexpectedly. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went to greener pastures.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just say it this way: our pet cemetery grew, and we ended up with about 22 goats, and things were going well. I wanted to try goats first before we bought cows.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea about problems animals might have birthing their babies. And the last thing I wanted to do was end up having to pull a calf out of a cow before I knew anything. So we got goats to start with. And goats, they did fine having babies. And we did okay with the goats.
Right.
And then we had one caterer that came out and wanted to buy a goat. And she saw one of the big goats and looked at that and said, "Oh," and it was a big male goat that probably weighed about 275 pounds. We feed
He
our
was
animals
big.
well.
He was
And
big. Yeah.
Connie says, "Oh, that's Dodge. He's not ready to go yet."
Right. He was.
Then there was another goat. "Oh, that's Rose. She's not ready to go yet." "Oh, that's Lightning. He's not ready to go yet." She named off about 5 or 6 goats.
They were all named, of course, because we have grandkids. They come out to see the goats.
And none of them were ready to go to see the caterer.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, when we got cows, I named the cows. We have brisket, ribeye, hamburger, rump roast. So everybody knew what was going to happen to the cows, and everybody was fine with that. We ended up taking our goats to an auction, and one man bought several of our goats because they looked really healthy. And Connie wanted to go talk to the man to see where he was taking the goats and what type of life they would have after he bought them. I encouraged her not to go talk to that man because I knew he had a livestock trailer that had about 75 goats in it, and he was taking them to a place that they weren't coming back from.
You know, I was so naive, and I think some people were really gentle with me. Like they just smile and they'd look for Mike's eyes and they have this glance like she really doesn't know, does she? You know. So it took me a little time, but I did eventually get it.
She did. One of the most precious moments that I thought was absolutely awesome was when we had chickens. And chickens don't lay eggs for the first 6 months. And our chicks started growing, and I wanted Connie to experience the productivity of farm life. So I bought some eggs and put them in the chick coop.
Oh.
She went up to feed them and was ecstatic. "Michael, we've got eggs. We've got eggs."
Even though they might have only been just past they were the adolescent stage of chicken growth because they were ugly for a while.
They were a couple months old, but they were still several months out from laying eggs. I did have to own up that they weren't the chicken's eggs.
Disappointed. I wanted to punch him. Like, what are you doing telling me this? Oh, again, I'm going to have to bleep that too. Dang it. I got to be careful. Oh. I
Anyway,
really love YouTube, but I just don't want to mess up.
so we didn't have a chicken house at that time for when the chicks got bigger and we're out of the brood coop. So we had to make a
Yeah.
chicken house. So it took us
Mhm.
a little while to get the fencing, the water, the housing. Well, we had a little bit of the housing because we had a
Mhm.
three-stall barn that whenever we bought
Oh,
the
yeah,
farm, my
that's really
dad had
cool.
already built.
Yeah.
So we had that. Then we built the chicken coop on the back of the barn.
Yeah.
And
We'd already kind of started out. We didn't start that way, but they're free range now, the chickens that we have.
yeah, the chickens that we have are free range. They were in a fence,
Hmm.
and we would let them out each morning, and then we would put them up each night. And you can
It was
ask,
a tall fence because they can fly to the top of the fence. But
yeah.
yeah.
And Connie had a special way to pick up the chickens to
Oh
get them
no.
into the.
Is this a beat on? There I go again. That word. What are you doing? Telling all my flaws. Oh my goodness.
She could catch a chicken by taking a towel and throwing it on the chicken, picking it up, and putting it in the coop.
I just didn't. It
The
felt
whole time,
strange to touch them.
the whole time, our granddaughter Kinsley's in the front
Yeah,
carry
she was a
backpack.
baby, and we had the little pouches that you hold for the babies, and because she had to go help us do chores because she was little, and I couldn't leave her at the house, and so she went with us to put the chickens up at night. And I didn't know all the things like chickens would be. There's so many things about training chickens to go in the chicken coop. You just basically get them in there and keep them there for a couple of days, feeding them and watering them, and then they'll know that every night that's where they're supposed to go, and they do it. I didn't know that at the time, and I thought we had to pick them up and put them in. Mike didn't know it either. When we were putting them away at night. So Kinsley,
One of those
yeah,
things we learned as we went along.
yeah. But I would hold Kinsley on this side and have her little head like this, and then the chicken was on this side, and I had chickens, and they're looking at her, and she's looking at them, and she's not tiny, tiny, but she's small enough to be in a baby pouch, and she's looking at the chickens, and so that's how she grew up, and that's probably why she's always been fearless because she started out like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we a couple of years went by and we got cows. The first thing we did, I think the easiest thing to do if you're going to start with cattle is to buy steers. Buy some steers.
Okay, Michael, what is a steer?
A steer is a male cow
Hmm.
minus two important parts.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
were already prepared for
They've already
growing.
been castrated, so
Ah,
they
can you do
can't reproduce, and all they're worried about is eating and getting fat. So we bought 4 steers and kept them for a little over a year. Grass-fed beef takes about 18 months to 24 months
that?
to uh, fatten up and be the right size and mature enough to go to be processed.
And I was a little fussy about this because as time went on, we were kind of like I was getting around some people who were looking for like really organic food, and they were looking to us to provide some of that. And I got fussy about things like we're not going to feed them any grain, we're not going to feed them anything that has any kind of chemicals in it or antibiotics or anything. We wanted to keep it completely natural. Well, I say I did, and Mike finally obliged, and we did that for a little while. But we discovered some things along the way that we didn't know then, of course. But if you feed the cows a little bit of grain, they'll come to you when you shake a bucket. So we did learn things like that.
And that was important because, again, our fence was almost 25 years old. Uh, and occasionally a cow would get out. And you know what? Cows just occasionally get out. So it's nice to have a bucket of feed to rattle and they come straight home.
Right.
There was a night that a next door neighbor called and said, Mike, I think your cows are out.
They were all walking down the road.
They were walking down the road. So I was on the four-wheeler and had the bag of feed on the back of the four-wheeler and just shook the bag, and they all followed me right back into the fence.
Yeah.
So there is a benefit to having them partially grain fed. Ours are mostly grass fed beef. They get a little bit of grain, but not a whole lot.
Right.
And then came time, and those 4 left the farm. We actually had a friend of ours that we had met that helped transport them for the farm, because guess what? We didn't have a cattle trailer. We didn't have a way to get them to the farm. So that was another thing. So these are the things we should have known and should have done before we got animals.
Hmm.
If you get your fencing in line, your water lines all ran, have a place for them to come in out of the shelter, out of the rain, and in a shelter of some type, and you have uh, established pastures, uh, and then for the wintertime, know where to buy hay if you need hay to feed the animals, or if you're going to rotational graze them, have all the paddocks set up before you buy your first animal.
Right. And there's other things too, like you can find people who will deliver hay for you and those kind of things. But we had a lot of people that kind of jumped in, I think, out of just pure, pity. That gave us, we were willing to learn, and I think that's important too, because when you start out, you can't pretend to know everything, and you can't be pretentious at all. You have to just decide, I'm going to eat some humble pie and just ask for help, because we did. We had a lot of great people that became really great neighbors and friends over the years that we really did start out with not any knowledge at all. And it's been a good journey. It's been a lot that we've learned.
It has. And she already said it. The best way to start into this is to be humble and understand you don't know everything.
Mhm.
And if you're coming from a background where you've lived in an urban area and you've never been to a rural area, you need to realize that those people have lived out there for a while, and there's a reason. Uh, so be humble, listen. Uh, Many of them are willing to give you advice that's really wise. So
Mhm.
understand that and find you a mentor, somebody that's willing to invest in you. Uh, we had a couple of people like that. One of the ones that I can think of is Mr. Jimmy Ayers. He
Mhm.
was he was very patient, very knowledgeable, and a good man.
He was a little guarded when he first met us. He wanted to make sure we were
Mhm.
really genuine people, and being willing to help your neighbors and jump in when they might need something, or just be welcoming and invite people out. We did have a couple of neighborhood parties and things like that to invite people out, because parties was what came natural to us. So we brought the party experience to the farm.
We did.
So we just wanted to be kind and hospitable, and and in return, they also were that way with us. So.
And my parents, when they moved out here, they had a
Mhm.
welcome party. They had a party and invited all the neighbors so they could get to know each other. Uh, and if you think about it, look in our history, there were a lot of gatherings like that in small towns where people got together. And I think that's something that we need to do more of. So know your neighbor.
Know your neighbor. Make it so they feel welcome on your place too.
Yeah. All right. So today we've just kind of shared with you about our journey, and
Of,
we will,
mhm,
hmm?
of your infrastructure,
Yeah,
right? So.
right. And we've got videos coming up that are going to show you where we're at now. Don't be too judgmental, because we still got a long ways to go.
Mhm.
I mean, we've only been out here 10 years. Uh,
10 years,
well, it's been more like 12, but
more like 14.
Okay. Okay. We've only been out here a little
He's really
while.
good at mathing.
So we'll show you where we've come, where we're at now, and kind of some of our plans for in the future.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for coming along with us. We're
yes,
we're learning, so while we learn how to do this and how to manage this, um, YouTube, we'd love your input. We'd love your questions. We'd love to hear from you. Just interact. We call it YouTube friends. We have a lot of YouTube friends. That doesn't necessarily mean they know us, but um, we adore a lot of people out there, and we decided, we might have something to offer too. So we're really glad you're here with us on our journey.
yes. And if you would like and subscribe this video. I know you hear that on every
I
video.
know, but
But
there's
you know
always
what? We're
a
just
yeah.
getting started, so we really need you to like and
This is what we're
subscribe.
gonna say. We really need your help.
And if you didn't like this video, just still like and
You know, I
subscribe.
think even bad attention is still good. So go ahead and do the thumbs down if you don't like us, but that would be painful. Just be gentle, okay?
And if you've got a question or comment, please leave it.
Really.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks.
Y'all have a good day.
Okay, Michael, you got to stop this video.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep.